Have you ever had yourself limited by the way you think? You have great, big dreams and desires, but somehow you just can't get yourself going? Have you ever found yourself being accustomed to saying, I just don't have the money. I can't do that. This is just my lot in life. Well, if this is you, you are going to love today's topic. We're going to talk about stop using your family history as a reason to give into failure. Because oftentimes that is what we are conditioned to do. We are going to dive into this topic tonight. My name is Suzanne Hart, and welcome to Unstoppable Mindset. In this program, we provide you with breakthrough strategies to help you reset your thinking. This conversation is for you. If you know you are called to be more and have more, and you are looking for some strategies to just get yourself going. If you're looking for inspiration, you are in the right place tonight, because do I have a guest for you. And if you are stuck and you're looking for just a nudge or some way to get yourself going, you are definitely in the right place. So as you jump on, I'm going to ask you to let us know who you are and where you're joining us from. So what platform, what part of the country or the world you're joining from. Also, please let me know what you do while you're living and who you're called to serve. Who are those people that you believe you're supposed to touch and definitely inspire? Please also put in the comments section what brought you out tonight, and if there's something you want us to talk about, because we will do our best to address it. And then go ahead, bless a life. Share this live to your page, share it to a friend. If this conversation is something you think that it's perfect for someone you know, call them over and invite them to join us. Now, if you're listening to the replay, you know, #replay. And even though you are listening to the recording, first of all, thank you. But when you like what you hear, definitely go ahead and put your comments in the comment section. I also want to know your name, who you are, where you're joining us from, and who you're called to serve. Who are you called to connect with and inspire? What do you do while you're living? Why do we do that? Because this is our virtual networking opportunity. This is our opportunity to connect and get to know each other. And you never know, there might be someone watching the replay, looking through the comments, and you have all your information there, and they're like, I need to get to know this person. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me because of a comment or a post on social media, and we have connected and started a conversation. So don't miss the opportunity to network. Do not miss the opportunity to let people know what you do. So I'm going to ask you to stay active, comment, let us know what lands with you. Put your thoughts in the comment sections. We'll take moments to pop over and read some of them. And I have a special guest for you tonight. So let's get this started. Welcome to Unstoppable Mindset. Tonight, we're going to provide you with breakthrough strategies to reset your thinking. Our topic tonight is stop using your family history as a reason to give in to failure. This conversation is definitely for you. If you're looking for some inspiration to get yourself moving, this is for you if you believe you are called to do and have more. So let me tell you a little bit about my guest. First of all, she is a life coach, and she, like me, works on mindset. She is all about the reset, right? Reset your thinking, reset how you see the world. She's an educational consultant with many years of experience. I'm not going to get into her story because I'm going to let her provide some of that to you directly. She is also a speaker, and when this woman takes the stage, she touches, she moves, and she inspires, and she'll definitely make you laugh. What I love about her is her sense of humor. I love that lifelong learning is just what she's up to and who she is. And she is called to touch and move lives. So please help me welcome Dr. Emma Fraser Pennington.
Hello, folks. So I am so happy to be on this call. I am going to do my best to follow directions. Now, you know, when you give up your mic to a speaker, you're in danger because there's something that happens to a speaker that takes them on their own journey. But Suzanne is a person not to mess with. You understand? So you got to do what she tells you because she grins with all those teeth. But when she gets a grip on you, if you don't do what you're told, you won't be invited back. So today we are going to deal with trauma.
We're gonna deal with trauma, my friend.
We're going to deal with trauma because what keeps us bonded to the negative events of our history is the traumatic memory that doesn't let us go. It doesn't let us move. We become addicted to the pain. You think not? I'm going to show you how that's true. But first, I have to explain who I am. So, I have the biggest sob story in the world. I really do. I was a foster child for 14 years in very, very abusive foster homes. If it was an abusive technique, I experienced it with my two younger brothers. So this was no cakewalk. Trust me when I tell you. I finally got up the courage to run away at 16 because I couldn't take another beating. That's
Mm.
so it was emotional abusive, it was psychologically abusive, and it was physically. So I hit the whole thing. So, ladies, gentlemen, children of all nations, I've got the biggest sob story. I got a sob story. You can't beat me when it comes to trauma. But it was something about it that I realized very young that even though I had to take it, I didn't have to become it. It
Ooh.
didn't have to define me. And I renamed when I got older what SOB means. For me, the SOB, SOB, means searching out the benefits of the trauma. So this hat,
Ooh.
now I don't normally show up on the show with a hat. You understand? That's not my thing. Except for I have just had a most traumatic event in my life. And I can't comb my hair because I have a broken shoulder that I broke 2 weeks ago falling out of my front door. And I said to myself, well, that's the end of any speaking engagements on Zoom because I'm not showing up with my hair not combed. I can't even put on a hairpiece or buy a wig because I only have one hand to do it with. That only lasted for a short time. And then I said, oh, no, no, no. That's a sob story. I have to search out what are the benefits. And the benefits are if I'm what I say I am, if I'm a mindset reset, then it begins with me. Because here's my mantra, folks. When I get on stages to speak and people look at you funny, especially me, I'm speaking to mostly African American audiences, and you see the way I look, you might be questioning my ethnicity, but that is your problem. However, I have to deal with that as a speaker. So I created this mantra. Been there, done that, bought the t shirt, got the hat, wrote the book, and starred in the movie. So I'm not afraid of any of it because I've been down in the trenches. I've been in that traumatic situation. So this hat is a success from my mess. My mess from falling out of my front door, skinning up my knees, breaking my shoulder, winding up in the hospital. And for 3 days, I couldn't even do anything. My depth perception was all off. They even put on the wrong sling. But it only took me 3 days. Now, here's what I want to tell you, folks. Don't think when stuff happens to you that you're going to immediately jump off that concrete and say, I got it all. No, but you got to have strategies for the comeback. So my comeback was already starting to percolate in my head the minute I was picked up off that concrete. Because
Mm.
I said, oh God, what am I going to do? But you know, reason I could do that? Because it's part of who I am. You see, if you think nothing is going to happen to you, you don't have any strategies in place. And if you think what happened to you in the past isn't going to come back and be a trigger for the future, then you're like the man who was an alcoholic and bought his home next door to a bar.
Oh dear.
My point to you is, or you're the streetwalker that always happens to be out late at night, even though you're not picking anybody up. So if you have the habits of your old stuff will come back and get you. And memories, traumatic memories, are some of the most addictive behaviors that pull us back. You know the term as post-traumatic stress. It comes back over, and it was first associated with men from the service. They came back 12 hours before they could have been on a battlefield shooting. Then they were released, put on a plane, cleaned up, went back to base, and came back to the family, and everybody thought that was okay. But they took the gun, but not the memory of the gun, or the people they had to kill, or who was shooting at them. So we have traumatic stress. So I know Suzanne must have a question where she wants to see me. I'm just going to be quiet. And Suzanne, what is your question?
Dr. Emma, first of all, you came out powerful as you always do. So I think the first thing I want to start with is, so, you said you have the SOB story of SOB stories. I love the acronym for SOB. What is it that you believe it is? Because you said there was something in your mind that had you not buy your present situation. Because oftentimes what people will do is they will become their situation, they'll own it, and it becomes their identity. But somehow you had another identity for yourself.
Because I thought about this when we talked earlier today and before when I talked to Taria. What was my first indication as a kid that I had to do something different? I think it was because I didn't have a choice. You see, being backed in a corner is exactly what it is. You either come out fighting or you die in that corner. There is an instinct in all of us to live. And I figured out very early that if I gave into that, my life would be miserable. My life, but it wasn't a fast fix. So overcoming trauma, I put trauma as best as I can in the fast food market. I drive by, I know it's coming out. I know that I have to pay some dues for it, but it's fast. I try not to live in the land. I try not to make a meal out of it. I try not to store it in the freezer of my mind. I try not to stack it. I try to understand it and I look at it. So I think as a kid, it was I didn't have a choice. And plus I had a responsibility. I had two younger brothers. And my younger brother right next to me, many of you may know, is Dr. George Fraser. I'm only 14 months older than him. And then we had a younger brother, Joseph, that was a year younger than George. But I felt a sense of responsibility as the oldest. And I was only 3 when we went in our first foster home. Wow. But I grew up very fast because that was the first assault time. Well, but I couldn't lay down because I had those brothers to look out.
So define for me choice, because I know there's people listening and will say, well, I don't have a choice.
Yes.
And I want everyone to get what you mean when you say, I had a choice.
We always have a choice. We may not want to take it. I say to you, look at the situation that you're in. That's what I did. And I said, what options are left? So I'm going to go back to my fall because that is an event that is going to serve me well. I'm searching out the benefits of the fall. I have one hand to do all of this, to cook with. I live by myself. I'm a widow. I have friends, but friends, I'm going to say this. Friends can't take care of all of your you go to the bathroom by yourself.
Yeah, maybe.
No friend in there. No friend is going to brush your teeth. These are intimate things that you got to do. So I said, what can I do? I couldn't bend over for the first 4 days because of the shoulder. So go look for a strategy. Here was mine. You see this? I have this in my laundry room. It's a grabber. I now use this, goes with me everywhere. I look for an option. I can't make the hand well, the arm well, the shoulder well for 6 weeks, but I can give myself another fake hand. So look for what's around you. Look at what's left. What's left are the tools for your triumph.
For your comeback.
And I can't do that. But what do you have, Emma? What do you have? I had that. I had my good arm. So I set up things in my bathroom to accommodate a one-armed person. So the stuff that I would keep under the cabinet and reach in, so my cabinet with my countertop would look neat. My countertop doesn't look like that now because I can't bend over. So I changed my house to accommodate my fall. Change your life to accommodate it so you can rise above it. You must be flexible. Look at your choices. You may not like them, but your deliverance is in the choice that you decide on.
You know,
that
is so good. And I know for myself, my mind is wired that when something happens to me, I'm always, it can't win.
Right.
Right. That's just me. It can't win. And I have fight in me. So no matter what happens, it's not going to get me. That's just how my brain is wired. And I choose something different because it's not going to win. I want to talk a little bit about conditioned biases, conditioned beliefs. And we hear it all the time. So, you know, Black women, Black men, we are conditioned to believe that we have a certain lot in life and racism happened and these sorts of things. Women are conditioned to believe certain things. People who live in poverty are conditioned to believe certain things. And talk about how our conditioning often limits or makes our choices seem so small.
Well, this is where looking at your history depends upon the view.
Ooh.
Let me say that. We do not want to eliminate our history, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We don't want to do that because our history, though we were a disenfranchised, marginalized, killed, murdered people, enslaved, we still made it. We're here. We are the relatives of those ancestors that refused to die, not die physically, but emotionally. They left something there for us to hold on to. The slaves that ran away, Sojourner Truth. Look at your history and search out the heroes and the heroines so that you can rise up. I visited Ghana. I visit Elmina, the first slave prisons. I walked through the door of I stood in the door of no return. But I wasn't disheartened. I grieved for that moment. We had a ceremony, but you know what I saw? I saw that some of those people that went through that door, they went on and made a life despite what happened. Some of them learned to read. All of them had emotional scars, but they couldn't kill us. We're from a people that they couldn't kill. So falling out my front door can't compare to what my ancestors went through. They were pushed. I fell of my own accord. And I had choices. You always have a choice. I defy you to say that you don't. If you're in prison, you know the story of Malcolm X. You know the story of the brothers that have gone to prison. They were criminals at the time. Malcolm X was a drug dealer. He got his education. He became a Muslim. He made a choice in the imprisonment of his body, but not his mind.
Absolutely.
Your mind is yours. Your mind, and they can mess with your mind, but you don't have to give it up. You don't have to give it up. Most of us will never go through what our ancestors did. We will never do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we take from what they gave us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I know one of the things I tell myself and anyone who works with me, I say, everything is a story. So we talk about history, those sorts of things. And so in my world, my bias is a story. My bias is a story I tell myself. And so it's simple for me. If the story I'm telling myself isn't moving me in the right direction,
All right.
girl, I'm just going to make one up that does.
Don't you know it?
I'm just going to make one up.
The Bible is nothing but stories.
Absolutely.
And look at it. I'm a Christian, so I'm referring to the Christian Bible. But the Christian Bible from Genesis to Revelation has the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what I like about the Bible. It shows the flaws of those people that we admire so. But here's my thing. I was talking to Demetra. That's my ride or die. She's a young lady that I met about 6 years ago. And she was talking to me a couple of months ago, maybe 6 months ago, something about the Bible and something she had to overcome. So I said, Demetra, what about the book of Demetra? She said, what are you talking about? I said, you're 40 years old. How long have you known God? She says, really about 18 years. I said, you have 18 years of writing your own scripture. What have you overcome? It is wonderful to know the history of the Bible, but we are writing our own history.
That's right.
So at this point in my life, at this age in my life, I have been a born again believer for 50 plus years.
Wow.
If I don't have a history that I can look at about myself and say, look, Emma, you overcame that. You overcame that. They didn't kill you then. You made it. So I have my own stuff. I look at my stuff and say, girl, you powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just look elsewhere. I look inward. Because
yeah, absolutely. And I think what it is what moves me and what moves most of us is not the major stories, it's the small stories. And my life, your life is a collection of small stories that makes this massive novel, great movie, by the way, right? And so it is being able to write a new chapter. So for me, what I'm hearing you say is that a bias is a story that we tell ourselves. So tell yourself a new story. And when you overcome something, that's just a chapter that you can refer back to read, to inspire yourself and say, I got this. What's next?
So the book that George and I did together in 2009 is exactly that, Suzanne. It's called Who Would Have Thunk It? The Adventures of the Fraser Foster Children. Okay? But it was based on our life, but it was what we would have wanted it to be in the foster home. So I named it Factitional. It's fact, but it's fiction. You know what? If your story keeps you sad, then add some fiction, honey. Put some swerve in it. Change the dynamics of what's going through. If you see yourself as a victim, that's what you'll be. If you see yourself as a victor, that's what you'll be. If you tell your sob story to yourself and you believe it, that's what you will be. As a man thinketh, so is he. What we speak, what comes out of our mind. But I don't want to discourage people because I got to be real. This doesn't happen like magic. I can't tell you when I fell out that door on September 13th that I was the raging heroine with the hat and all of this. No, it took a little bit of it took a little bit of Oxycontin. It took some ibuprofen. It took 3 days laying on my back in misery and in pain. But through all of that, I was saying, what can I do? What? Now, I had no idea then that I would ever show up in public and be speaking.
And girl, you look good. You look good.
I did not know, because you had to see me those first 3 days. I looked like someone who fell out of a front door down a step, just one step. But the point is, because I have a history of recovery, because I have recreated the story of Victor and going from mess to miracle, going from scars to stars, going from tragedy to triumph, it clicked in. Stay with me because I've been practicing recovery too long.
And you know, so it is really what we tell ourselves every day. All like, because I know for myself, the muscle of resiliency had to be built. So you know, we were talking about my athleticism in the green room before we jumped on. And I tell people, I'm an athlete by identity. Athletes have great tolerance for pain. We are fighters. We bounce back. And so for me, that's part of who I am. So when something happens, the athlete in me shows up and says, oh no, we got this, right? Because I know. And so part of it is, those aren't traumatic moments. Those are moments of building my muscle, resilience. So what you're saying is that it's when we practice resiliency in the small stuff, when we practice resiliency in the day-to-day, when we practice resiliency just getting up and doing what we say, when we want to just sleep in, when we practice those things, when the big thing happens, that muscle has some bounce back to it and it will kick in.
So it's interesting, Suzanne, because on the day of the fall, I had been with my trainer for 6 weeks. He finally got me up to what I would call fighting strength. He was really now going to start training me to build muscle. He had to get me, when I introduced myself to him, he said, so what shape do you think you're in? I said, well, I have past couch potato. I am I don't even have a shape of a form. You have to scoop me up. That's what. So he said, okay. And when he started doing these, I call them the baby exercises, there were parts of my body that I forgot existed. There were muscles that he had me. It took him 6 weeks. And at that point, that day, I fell. So here's the deal. Would the fall have been worse if I wasn't in good condition? He had me at a prime fighting. So even though it seems to be a setback, it was a benefit. So I'm glad I did it, because at first I said, oh my God, all that money for a personal trainer. I hired a nutritionist, because I'm the person that says, if I need it, I'm going to have it. So I bought, just give me Amazon. So I bought myself a sling for taking a shower with. I have this. I have T-shirts that I'm not able to wear them yet, that you can put in. See, because this is my little flexi shirt. Here's my arm that I can't, but I still got an arm. So remember, even though it's wounded, you still got it. You still got it. So this little arm here sticks out to remind me that this is going to be well one day. One day, I'm going to put my arm through this with you. All right. So remember, you got yourself. Never let a fall, an abuse, a statement crush you. But folks, as I said, I don't want to sound like this stuff is easy. It's not. I have my moments. I don't stand out in front of my house and let everybody know it. So you could say, but Dr. Emma, I woke up today, I was so discouraged. Okay. It's called mindfulness. Be aware of what you're going through. Don't deny it. Grieve the situation, but don't throw yourself in the grave. You know, when you go bury a loved one, and a lot of that happened during COVID, you lower the casket down. You don't get down in there with it. You're grieving, but you're standing outside of the burial place.
That was good. That was good.
Okay. Nobody says, now jump in. When I buried my husband, we were married 43 and a half years. Nobody said, I know you loved him, Emma, jump in, because I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing it.
Absolutely.
So don't jump in the grave of your trauma, because it's trauma, it's drama, And then there's the comma. The comma is where you take a pause, redirect your life, and move on. She fell, comma, but she got up. However, furthermore, and. So the trauma, the drama, and the comma, they go together. I created that term.
So let's talk about before the comma.
Before the comma.
For a moment.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because let's just be real.
Yes, be real.
Drama's comfortable. Drama's familiar. Drama is, for many of us, who we are. It's how we express. And drama brings company, friends, pals, the whole 9 yards, right? So sometimes we're uncomfortably, I know I should do better. I want more, but we're uncomfortably comfortable in the drama, the trauma, and all its friends. So what do you say to someone who's like, I know I should do better, but I can't move because I'm comfortably uncomfortable? What's the first step?
Okay, I know I'm gonna whisper this because I know as a culture we don't like it. So I'm gonna whisper. I only want like 3 million people to hear it. But the rest of them make it closing on the audience. You must get some therapy. And I know people say, well, I talked to my pastor. That is very good. But if you broke your shoulder, I called my pastor for prayer, but I went to my orthopedic surgeon to set it. You understand? So get some professional help of someone who is not caught up in your drama. They're not your friend. They are neutral. You must have an outside, and you love your mama. Your mama's the best person in the world. Your mama. Sacred position. Get a Some people keep water. I keep water, and I keep a therapist. I do. Because I got issues, because I'm human. I got issues. Once you acknowledge that, we all have something in our medicine chest. Do you have some kind of aspirin or something in your medicine chest for pain, Suzanne? I'm afraid to ask her because she probably has something organic. But
I do. I have something organic.
Yes, but you have something.
I do.
You have bandages.
Bandages, yes, I got bandages.
Okay, you got bandages. Why?
Because when I get cut, I need a bandage.
But you're not going to cut yourself. You planning to be cut by having bandages?
I'm prepared for when it inadvertently happens.
Because it's going to happen. So you have to be prepared that life is a series of traumatic events that propel you to your destiny. In fact, you would have no destiny without those events. You wouldn't, because it's your pain that when you distill your pain, it will identify your passion, which will lead you to your purpose, which will take you to your profit. The profit of what is your revenue stream? Because if you're stuck in trauma, you are holding up your revenue. I don't care what you say.
That's truth to power. That is truth to power.
And the other profit is the profit of owning yourself, which is the highest price commodity that you have. It's you, your mind, your body, your soul. This is the most expensive real estate. This, not the house that you bought, the dream house, or the summer home. This is what costs the most. If you never buy a house and you got yourself, you rich.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying something so true. In that, I watch people and they'll invest in the car, the house, the red bottoms, but they won't invest inside here. And I know for myself, like you, loads of trauma, like you, loads of drama. And I know that without another eye, I sometimes can't get outside of my own trauma. I can't get
coaches.
Right.
Really good coach. And still, though I am a mindset reset intervention coach, I work with those issues of trauma and drama and how to overcome that in order to move from your destruction to your destiny, or what you perceive as
Mhm.
destruction to your destiny, when in fact the obstacle is the way.
Yes.
The thing that you overcome is the thing that propels you to do the thing that you would be afraid to do if you didn't have the practice of overcoming the precursors to the success.
So let's dive right there,
Right there.
because that was just a reset, and I want everybody to just get that. That was a reset, right? Because so, and I say this a lot on this platform. In my world, everything is perfect. Everything, no matter what it is, it's perfect. And the reason,
And you gotta open that up a little bit.
so the reason I say that to myself is, if everything is perfect, no matter what happens for me, there's a purpose. There's a purpose. So no matter what's going on in my world, I go, Suzanne, it's perfect. There's a lesson, a blessing, a calling, a something in here that you're called to find. So go find it. Because otherwise I sit in victim. Otherwise I sit in
Victim.
right? Otherwise I sit and it's happening to me. Otherwise I sit and I'm totally disempowered. But the minute I remind myself it's all perfect, because I believe in a higher power, and I don't believe he put anything in front of me that wasn't for me in some way, shape, or form. So what is this for? And that's what I asked myself, what is this for? And that is just a reset right there, because nothing comes to me that I say, oh, poor me. It's like, no, I could, that's a choice. Remember, you said we always have choices. So I choose perfection. I choose this is perfect, and there's a purpose in it. I'm going to go find it. And the purpose will always grow me, expand me, make me better, stronger, badder, bolder. But I'm going to go find it, Emma.
You know what? You can't be a heroine. You can't be an overcomer. You can't be a person of courage. You can't be a role model until you have had trauma in your life.
Ooh.
You can't do it. You give me a biblical character in the Muslim faith, the Christian faith, Judaism, that didn't have a trial and tribulation. And it was out of the trial and tribulation that they found their destiny. And here's the other thing. Everything that happens to you is not just about you, because that's the story that you're going to tell. That's the victory that you're going to reveal, and that's your audience. Whatever, if you're an alcoholic, you got an audience of alcoholics. That's what happened to Bill W.
Mm-hmm.
He, founder of AA, he was in the 1920s. He was a horrific alcoholic. The only treatment they had for it then was they put you in an institution for mentally ill people. He went in and out, and finally the doctor said, don't come back here, because you're the worst alcoholic we've ever seen. He went home. I don't know the exact timeline. I have his book. He had a dream. He said God gave him the 12 steps. We know every single successful rehab program comes out of the model of AA.
Mm-hmm.
It came out of his tragedy. Look, if he had never been an alcoholic, how many people would have never been rescued? I mean, it sounds so trite. We love these stories on television. We love the soap operas where the person overcomes. We love the Hallmark Channel.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, if it wasn't for the falls, the scraped knees, the emotional abuse, the psychological trauma, we wouldn't be worth the salt on that last order of French fries. It's what makes us.
Absolutely.
And I don't go looking for it, and you don't have to, because it's coming to you.
It's coming to you, right?
You don't worry.
You're about to get some. You're about to get some.
Or you had it and you missed it. That's the worst thing, Suzanne. The worst thing is to have trauma and you didn't dig into it and find out where the root was. That's terrible. That's the biggest sin.
Somebody put that in the chat, in the comments. The worst thing is to have trauma and not take the time to dig into it to find your blessing.
Oh, because in your blessing, somebody else, listen, I don't know half the people that have heard me on these broadcasts. I will never meet them. But I know this. I didn't fall for nothing. I didn't fall for, yes, there's lessons I'm learning, but I'm giving lessons away. But if I didn't have this shoulder, my message wouldn't be as powerful. Now, I can speak in the dark. I can speak if you muffle my mouth. But look at the treasure in being on this call with this broken shoulder, wearing a hat because I can't do my makeup. But that doesn't keep me from getting up. That doesn't keep me from stepping up. That doesn't keep me for making sure that I'm up, unparalleled, up from whatever the event was that took you down. So if it's happening to you, you got a blessing. If it's happening to you, you have a blessing. And it's not for you only. It's supposed to help somebody else.
Yes. And the analogy I use when I'm speaking is I go, I ask people, how many of you feel like you're in that moment where you're being compressed, like there's just so much stress and pressure and all those things. And then I say, but remember, diamonds are made from coal, and it's the heat of the moment that creates a diamond. And so for anything that I want, anything that you want, anything that I'm called to do or have, I have my pressure moment, because in that pressure moment, I evolve, I transform, I become more. And I always remind myself, Emma, is that when I ask for something, I'm not the recipient yet. I'm the asker. And something has to happen in that journey to create me as a person who can receive it.
Oh boy.
Right?
Oh,
something has to happen, because if you're asking for something bigger than you are right now, more than you have right now, different than you have right now, expect that you're not the recipient yet. So there has to be an event, a thing, a fall, that creates the shift, the change, where you evolve into the person who can hold what you're asking for. Because without it, you'll get it and you won't be able to handle it because you're not ready. You won't be.
Yes, you're right. So my other analogy, because I'm trying to be in the moment with this. So I put on this beautiful black bracelet because I wanted a little bit of jewels, stuff like that. Yeah. I come here to the desk, to my computer. The bracelet breaks and all of the beads fall out. So in essence, I lost my marbles. In that moment, here's the jar. Here, I lost my marbles. I said, that's what it looks like. So I picked them up. I put them in here. I said, okay, I'm looking at these. That's the way I felt when I fell. It's okay.
I lost my marbles. Yeah.
I lost my marbles. But I can pick them up. I can restring it if I want. Is that Demetra?
Yes.
Oh, come. This is Demetra. Come, Demetra.
Hi, Suzanne. Long time no see.
Hey, sweetheart. You're live on Facebook.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys get back to this. I'm gonna step out.
Okay,
you know Dr. Emma, right?
Yes. So I lost my marbles. My bracelet came apart. I said, this is symbolic of what just happened. But I know that if these marbles fall on the floor, I could fall. So let me remember, when you lose your marbles, go get them. If you walk around with half of your marbles broken, you're going to fall again. Whatever that event was, you're going back. So as soon as I get up from this desk, I'm going to search this floor, because I'm not those lost marbles.
And so this is great. This is great. We could do this all night. This is so good. Because this is the thing. If your marbles represent the lessons,
Yep.
you don't run around, pick them up, that lesson gonna come back and bite you in the butt.
Ooh, Suzanne.
Right? Isn't it the case? If I get stuck in poor me victim and an event happened and I was supposed to learn that lesson, if I'm busy being victim versus heroine versus, let me go find it, what's going to happen is 3 months later, there's that marble on the floor. I go,
Yeah.
right? Because I didn't pick up the lesson.
Yes,
so it's got to come around again.
Go get your marbles.
So part of it truly is that if we want out of our situation, we got to dig into that situation and ask, what am I supposed to learn in order to move? What am I supposed to learn in order to grow? What am I supposed to learn in order to get more? Who am I supposed to become? What do I need to do different? What is the transformation? And this is the key thing. No one can do it for you. People can help you. People can guide you. People can walk alongside you, but no one can do it for you.
So,
I can't pick up all your marbles.
You can't. So I know we're only talking like to 8 million people, so I only want to talk to 6 million now. Like I said, the first 2 days of this injury, just going to the bathroom was excruciating. So my prayer partner who was taking care of me helped me get out of the bed, walked me to the bathroom, and I have a large bathroom, so I have a separate place for where the toilet is. So she looked at me when she got to the door, and I said to her, listen, I'm going to try to do this by myself because I said, I have nothing left. But you know what? For the first 2 days, she had to come in with me because all of my depth perception was off. But by the third day, I said, I'm going to master this by my freaking self. I went and got my marble. And I said, I'm going to learn how to go to the bathroom by myself. So go get your marbles. Whatever you lost in the fight, whatever the trauma took from you, go back and get it. Master it. And you'll even be better. Because this wasn't an expensive bracelet, so I don't really care. But if it was pearls, they would be restrung. But I'm going to bless these and release them, or either I'm going to keep them in a bag as a memory of this fall.
Woo. Girl, it's always a blessing when I sit down with you. I'm like, first of all, I got to keep up. She pace. I got to keep up with that mind.
And I'm slow. I'm recovering from Oxycontin. I've been off it for 2 days, but there's a couple of those marbles might be floating around.
So as we part, 2 things I'd love for you to do. One is, if you had one sentence, one pearl that you want to leave everyone with, what would it be? And 2, I am sure there's people going, I don't know who this sister is, but I got to hang out with her. I got to connect with her. I need to learn more about her. How can they find you and connect with you?
Okay. You can reach out to me on my email. You can email me at Audrey, Audree Fraser, Fraser. It's very, maybe Taria can write it out because
we'll drop it in the comment section for you.
Or you can reach me at 718-916-3952. And this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm an expert in this. Don't call me just because you want to confess. Call me with a question so that I can answer it. You don't call experts to chat. You call experts to dig and to refine. So if you've got something serious, call me. If you just want to tell me that you love me, put it in the chat or send me an email. Because I got serious people that I need to help get their marbles.
And last words, Dr. Emma.
Traumatic events are the grist to propel you to your destiny. Overcoming them is the key. Traumatic events are the grist to get you to your destiny. Overcoming them is the key. Don't look at the event, look at the results. Don't let consequence be a success.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have been sitting down with Dr. Emma Fraser Pennington. Oh, such a joy, such a blessing. Thank you so much for joining us. You have been listening to Unstoppable Mindset. My name is Suzanne Hart. We are here every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to reach out to me and continue this conversation and ask me a poignant question, definitely do so. We'll drop how you can do that in the comments section. We also have a free gift, our Mindset Mastery mini course, in the description. So feel free, and it'll begin this journey for you about how to reset your mind.
Suzanne,
Yes,
I want to make a correction to the email address. It's AUDREE. There's no Y.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get that handled for you. Thank you. Okay. And so as we part, please remember, know you're brilliant. Know you are oh so special. And please know that the world is waiting for you to have the courage to put your unique gift into the marketplace. I will see you back here next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to share this live, because this was a good one. If you're like or subscribe, and we will see you back here next week. Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Bye.